guys, I'm back with another 10 metal bands you haven't heard but should. This one was a bit behind schedule. I've had a bit of a flu and been to quite a lot of gigs recently, so they're my reasons. If I look like death, then blame the flu, and if I'm not my usual effervescent self, then well, I apologise. But on to the important matter at hand. This is 10 more metal bands you haven't heard but should. I've also got all this stuff for the next video, just because it seems like I've had some mammoth post days recently, which is always very welcome. We do love it when the mailman brings a good stack of heavy metal. So, first off the bat, we have Sacrilegia, which is, I'm just going to make sure I'm saying that they're from the right place, because I hate it if I get that wrong. But this is some killer Black-Thrash kind of stuff. I got this from Crypto the Wizard. My my internet is just failing on me now, as is typical when I'm trying to do something, so excuse me a sec. But locations aside, this definitely has that like early Bathory, Sodom. Yeah, they are from Dublin, Ireland. I knew they were from Ireland, but I didn't want to say the wrong city. Yeah, Dublin. Really killer Irish stuff. Obviously, Invictus being an Irish label too. It seems to be, for such a small location, Ireland has such a ton of really killer and unique bands at that, not just good quality, but they sound quite different from each other, which is interesting for such a compact scene. But yeah, Sacrilege is definitely a highlight for me. I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys at Abyss Festival in Sweden. So yeah, if you like your kind of Teutonic thrash, first wave black metal, this sits somewhere in the middle. It's about half an hour long, just complete raging extreme metal, uncompromising, great stuff, must have. Next up, this is the bootleg version, but there is now a official vinyl release and tape reissue, courtesy of Extremely Rotten. But this is the bootleg. It's a bit of a cult bootleg now, but it's Dr. Shrinkers, the eponym demo. Fucking hell, demo. Classic 1990 death metal. Yeah, I have got that right. Oh, it says on the front. That's convenient. I do love it when they make it easy. Think Autopsy. That kind of Autopsy is easily the best comparison I can make. But yeah, this is just really druggy, mid-tempo, old-school death metal. It's got that nice sewery early 90s sound. It's not too polished, but it's really heavy sounding, just crushing sound. Absolute classic. I was really late to the party with these guys. It was when Extremely Rotten announced that they were reissuing it. I was like, oh, you know, I love me some classic 90s death metal. I'm going to go back and give that a spin. And I was like, how the hell has this not been on my radar? Really killer stuff. And big shout out to David for making it official again. I will probably grab the official reissue, so maybe I'll get the tape just so I've not got 2 7-inches. But yeah, if you want to get an official one, that I'd encourage that, because it supports the band, and David's a really cool guy. Extremely Rotten's a great label. And yeah, just the bootleg's quite cool though. You get different colour ones. But yeah, go support the real deal. It's really great death metal. If you love 90s death metal, there's really not anything to lose. Next, we have a very new release, which is Necromante's new album on Iron Bonehead. Fuck, I've forgotten where this band's from too now. I'm not with it today. I'm not going to apologise, I'm really ill. They're Brazilian. See, in my head I was going to say they're from Chile, and I just did not... I don't want to miss country any bands. If you look at that artwork though, let's talk about some killer artwork, because that is probably the coolest album cover I've seen in a long time. I love that kind of... It's crude, but it doesn't look shit, and that's a very, very fine line to sit in there, which the new wave of British heavy metal mastered, and a few like South American bands, but it's been a bit off since. But yeah, Necromante absolutely nail that niche. So what do they sound like? If you took a mix of bands like Root and Mortuary Drape and Tormentor, sort of first wave black metal with some kind of weirdness going in, they've got some of that Eastern Bloc weirdness in their sound, like bands like Root and Tormentor. If you took some Mystifiers, The World Is So Good, I feel is probably an influence here, or just Mystifier in general. Just really great. It's got these really bestial moments, these kind of creepy, doomy moments. It's just one of those extreme metal releases that has everything. It's definitely one of my favourites this year, which I know people say left, right and centre, but I think I'm pretty reliable with my opinions. In other words, I'm stubborn and pig-headed. But yeah, Necromante. It's one of those bands I've not really seen many people talk about, which I think is a massive shame because although they may not fall into any kind of, I don't like using the word like trend. That opens a whole can of worms that I don't really want to have here. But they don't fall into any niche, let's say. They just keep it old school, but they do it in a really refreshing and organic, authentic way. Absolutely love this. So yeah, check out Necromante. Next, we have some Greek stuff. We know. Oh, talking of Greek stuff, actually, I'm so glad I alphabetized my stuff. I'm gonna plug one of my own releases. So my new heavy metal project, Razorforge and Chaos Horde split 7-inch, is out now on Vicious Witch. Razorforge, my side is think epic heavy metal with some first wave black, German thrash, and a bit of speed metal. Chaos Horde, Greek Black-Thrash, bestial fucking rage. Check it out. Really proud of this one. Now back to your scheduled programming. We have Diavolos from Greece, like Chaos Horde. I'm a big fan of the Greeks. I think those guys worship the old school heavy metal and extreme metal. I think they have a great way of putting it into their sound, which they make their own. And I think it's a really cool country. I know loads of really cool Greek guys, Nick from Vicious Witch being probably my favourite Greek person off the top of my head. I do keep a material list of my favourite Greeks, which I update once a month. I might open a website for that. But yeah, lovely place. I've been to Greece once, for anyone interested. It was far too hot for me. It was 42 degrees, and my Nordo-Saxon self, well, actually more Nordo-Celtic, if we're going to be pedantic, but my pasty pale self was cremated. Yeah, 42 degrees is not good for me. It's like 15 now, and I'm wearing a vest, and I'm boiling, and this is me with a cold. But yeah, Diavolos. I'm going to shut up about my life now. You Live Now Die on Hell's Headbangers. You might notice the sort of combination of Slayer's Show No Mercy with Exciter's Heavy Metal Maniac, two of the best albums ever. When you put those influences together on a cover and then give us some sort of black and thrashy, speedy death, it's got everything from kind of South American extreme metal to Canadian speed metal to... It gets kind of death metal-y too, but I'm talking more like Possessed than like, Cannibal Corpse or whatever. It's just absolutely raging half an hour of just bestial extreme metal. That cover art should just really tell you how cool it is, and it is a great release. The music does not let it down. Oh shit, it will release until I break it. This is one that I think Hell's Headbangers quite often put up in their cheap sale. I got it from a UK distro, but I think it's very easily attained and not for a massive price, which, if you just want some really great extreme metal to fill out the D in your collection, then this is such a great example. I just realised how that sounds. Next, another new one that we have from Sacrifizer on Osmos Productions, their brand new album, which is The Diamond of Lucifer, but in French. Let's go. Le Diamant de Lucifer. French people gonna crucify me in 3, 2, 1. Anyway, if you like Black Viper from Norway, they're probably the closest band I can compare Sacrificer to. Also, how cool is that artwork again? I'm one of these people who is like, artwork can really make an album. For me, it's like, if music sucks and it has a great cover, it still sucks. But if music's great and it has a great cover, it makes it even greater, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're Swiss. I'm going to check this one out too. See, I know everything I'm talking about, and then geography. Oh no, they're French. I'm very, very sorry. It's because their bassist, Jamie, she plays with Tom Morris' Triumph of Death. This is what's throwing me, you see. Is she French or Swiss? Oh, she's Italian, for fuck's sake. Why do they make it so hard for me? Shout out Jamie, seeing her with Triumph of Death in Sweden and the UK. Great bass player. But yeah, Sacrificer's debut album. If you think Agent Steel meets almost extreme metal, it's got that kind of somewhat traditional heavy metal, somewhat speed metal, but then it has that modern extreme metal touch. It's a really great mix. And when I say modern, I don't mean it sounds modern at all. I just mean it's really heavy. But yeah, Black Viper from Norway is probably the closest comparison I can make. It's very fast. There's these kind of Judas Priesty, pinch harmonic-y riffs. There's those Agent Steely riffs. There's those kind of weird bits. It's got some more straightforward songs like Leather Agents, which the name should tell you, or Steel Assassins, just kind of old school heavy metal. Then there's like a Funeral Majesty, which is a bit more gloom in it. It's just a really, really cool album. It's their debut full length. They do have like a sort of mini album out on Dying Victims, but that's really good. I think this is even better. They've just gone from strength to stronger. Really cool stuff. Check out Sacrifizer. This video is shaping up to be one of my longer ones, considering I'm really sick. I'm doing a great... This is what happened. I guess I'm not very sociable, so it all falls out. Conquest. Now, this is a band I got into very recently. They're playing Keep It True Rising this year in Germany. And whenever I go to a festival, I always like to check out everyone on the bill, because I don't want to get there, miss a band, just be one of those, oh, I don't know them, so I'm not going to watch them. I'm so glad I did, because this is such a cool band. As you can tell from the artwork and logo, it's just old school traditional heavy metal. But whereas some bands may favour, you know, the American power metal or the new wave of British heavy metal or a bit more speed metal, Conquest have that kind of first wave of Swedish heavy metal sound, most obvious Heavy Load. In fact, they sound so convincingly like Heavy Load in some points, and I mean that in the most complimentary way possible. It's just great. A lot of bands may be influenced by Heavy Load, but there's not really many bands that sound like they're really worshipping at the altar of them, and I'm really glad Conquest do. And I don't even think they're Swedish. I'm pretty sure they're German. I'm gonna buy a map after this video. No, they're Italian, sorry. But yeah, they you know, maybe some of the Swedish bands have more of that in their sound, would be fair to say, but yeah, it's an Italian band. I don't know why I thought they were German, because I'm seeing them in Germany. So next we have Sinstyler. Oh, who put that one out? I always shout labels. Iron Oxide Records, cool label. Sinstyler. Now, this is much more in the kind of new wave of British heavy metal vein, more some sort of Judas Priest meets Accept meets some Maiden-y bits meets some Satan and Angel Witcher. Really anthemic, uplifting, powerful kind of sound. Solid Source of Steel, new album on it's not No Remorse, right? It's because I saw the chain in their logo. It's Metalizer Records and Iron Underground Productions. Not No Remorse, although No Remorse is a wicked label. You'll be hearing more about them in the next video, I'm sure. But yeah, Sinstyler, really cool, just classic sounding heavy metal. That's got one of those artworks that just tells you everything you need to know about the release, I think. Cool layout, really nice, old school. Well, as old school as a CD is going to feel, this is it. So yeah, if you like your old school, especially British and early German heavy metal, check out Sinstyler. So next we have some black metal from Vanum. American black metal. See, I'm just getting up the countries list. This is a sort of a nice mix of, it's melodic but without being overly so. It's got some kind of some Norwegian-y stuff. It's got some more atmospheric stuff like you know, the sort of like Eastern European bands have that kind of not like folky atmosphere but quite like nature-y kind of thing, but you know, it's still heavy, it's still extreme. It's really cool album. This on that's on Eisenwald. I always want to make sure I pronounce it right. They always do this really nice digipacks for other things in Boston stuff. They're a label that clearly take great pride in putting together a nice package, which always does, like I say, add to a good release. Yeah, Vanum's album Legend is a really nice. It's not their first album. No, it's their third one. I was going to say second. My apologies. Yes, their third full length album. Yeah, if you like black metal with a lot of atmosphere, that's definitely a good one for you. Now, Eucharist, some more black metal with that more of an emphasis on melody. They started out, I'm just looking at their Metal Archives page. This was a newer band to me. They started out apparently more melodic death, but this album itself, which was my introduction to them, seems a bit more like kind of Dissection, Sacramentum, those kinds of 90s Swedish black metal bands with a lot of melody. Really cool on Helter. They're one of those labels you don't see a lot of people talk about, even though they've got some really good stuff on their roster. So yeah, really cool stuff from Eucharist. A lot of melody. It has got quite a unique sound to it. You get a lot of songs as well. I just realised how. So I sort of just put things in and listened to them. I didn't notice quite how many songs on that. So yeah, some great Swedish black metal from real Swedes. And finally, we have another project featuring Chris Reifert. This is Static Abyss. Funnily enough, I've seen people post this. It somehow completely bypassed me. Peaceful's promo company sent me a CD of this, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. It's a duo, I think. Oh, why must they hide the information from me? Yeah, Chris Reifert and Greg Wilkinson. That's right. I was right. I'm always right. Static Abyss is sort of... It's definitely got some autopsiness to the sound, but it's got that kind of peaceful, appropriately peaceful 90s kind of doomy touch to it. Really cool death doom. It's quite drudging, but it just still sounds gross and just seeping with like rottenness. As you'd hope from anything involving Reifert. Just really cool slab of dragging death metal, and a great way to finish out the video. So I hope you guys enjoy these bands and support the bands and labels. I extra hope you go and buy this killer Razor Forged Chaos Horde 7-inch, which I'm going to be a complete dick and plug even more now. So yeah, it's a gatefold, so it's really like you get 2 7-inches, which is even better. Our side is just a intro and 1 song. Then Chaos Horde give you a song, which is killer. You know, I'm really happy to share the split with them. There's me with my cool flying V. There's the dudes. You know they're a cool band when they're wearing Death Hammer and Midnight shirts, like 2 of my favourite bands. Very happy to be doing a split with them. And on Vicious Witch, a label that I love working with. This is only their 3rd release, and everything they've done, in my humble opinion, is fantastic. It's the vinyl itself, so Razor Forge, Profane Savage with our little Sharpen the Blade intro, Chaos Horde, whose logo is upside down, and it couldn't get any cooler. We have a kind of double-sided poster. Really like their design there, and this is ours with our sort of Razor-inspired flying V with exhaust. Which both of these will be available on t-shirts soon as well too. Maybe they are by the time this is out. I don't know. But yeah. Thank you for listening to my little advert, and I hope you guys support those bands and mine. Until next time, stay metal.